Hey, welcome back to the channel, and another Zao game. I put up a game a couple days ago. Actually, I uploaded it earlier today, but it was actually recorded a couple days ago, where I had a 3-kill, 253k-ish game in the Zao, which was at the time my highest damage game in the Zao by probably 20k or so. Been playing the Zao quite a bit lately. Normally I would play the Zao maybe once a week, a couple times a week maybe. But I've been playing it quite a bit. I got the legendary upgrade on it, and had traditionally ran defensive fire, but I'm actually running hydro now, although as I've mentioned in other videos, I don't use my hydro as probably much as I should. Try to be aware of my surroundings and know when I'm spotted by DDs and when I'm not. So this game is going to be an uphill battle. There is an 07 division on the other side, and according to matchmaking, my team has a 36% win rate and the other team has a 53% win rate. That's a big gap. Yeah, I don't know what can be done about that. Probably one of my biggest gripes with this game is the matchmaking. It's not skill based, so we actually have 3 people on our team that have never even got a win in the ship that they're in. Of course, they all have, very low game counts, under 6, but yeah, that's a pretty big gap as far as skill goes. Average XP on our team was like 1100. Average XP on their team was 1600. So again, a massive gap. His matchmaking mod and the stats, the holy grail of success and or predictions? No, but I think it gives you an idea of both the players on your team and the players that you're playing against on the opposing team. So with that said, we follow this Asashio over to the flank, and basically he spots the Conqueror, and we start spamming the Conqueror with HE. How do you like that? I've already got 1 fire on him, and the nice thing about the Conqueror is they have the super heal, so they tend to let fires burn. Now, looking at him, it almost looks like he's running fire prevention because he has that single. Maybe he has 2 fires in the middle. It's hard to tell. Either way, I've only put 1 fire on him and hit him with some HE, which, as everybody knows, the Zao has a pretty substantial alpha strike with the HE. So I'm getting 3-4k, and we're already up to almost 40,000 damage. Takes a shot at me with AP, surprisingly, as it turns out. I don't know if he would have been. Oh, I guess the Asashio would have had him spotted either way. So again, fire a salvo. It looks like he used his repair, and we managed to get another fire started. So just like that, we're already at 40,000 damage. Although most of it's been on the. Ooh, I did not notice this during the game. I did not see that torpedo strike. And this Asashio, for the record, kicks butt. He did a great job. He spends a lot of time on this flank spotting, which is kind of important for me. And then he plays accordingly. He does what he should be doing, compared to what you see a lot of Asashio captains do, which is just kind of skirt the edge of the map, torping from max range. And we land another fire. So I believe we've only engaged this Conqueror at this point, and you know, we've already got almost 60,000 in damage, and I think he may be flooding out too. He did take that Torp, and the Asashio Torps are no joke. So I'm wondering if not only is he flooding, and not only is he on fire from me, but he's potentially flooding out. So yeah, that's good. Conqueror is a dangerous ship, so to be able to get rid of him and or make him irrelevant is kind of huge. Unfortunately, at this point, we make him irrelevant. We don't. He drops concealment, which drops into concealment, which is probably a good move on his behalf, but kind of frustrating for mine because he only had 6,000 health left, and unfortunately, he'll be able to print a new ship pretty shortly. Yeah. Our battleships in this game. Actually, our battleships and our tier 10 ships play pretty poorly, in my opinion. You'll notice we just lost that Yamato. He was fairly low health. The Asashio smoked him up. The 07 division with the two Jean Barts were able to finish him off. One other thing to note is the Ibuki was an 07 guy also, and he got blapped right in the beginning. I believe our Moskva got him, and at this point our Moskva is the only ship that has any kills, and you're going to see a theme here with the Moskva and myself. So we're going to focus on this Cleveland, who is woefully overextended. I don't know why, for any reason, you would be in the center of a cap. Especially a cap like this map where, you know, you can literally take fire from every single direction. Yeah. And he's in a world of crap. He went from full health just a couple seconds ago to, yeah, gone. Our Jean Bart is able to finish him off, so at this point, our Moskva's got 2 kills and our Jean Bart has the other. Excuse me. Just had some lunch and I got the hiccups. Unfortunately, our Grosavoy died at the sea cap, and well, I guess luckily and unfortunately at the same time, we haven't been able to take the C cap, but the B cap also hasn't been taken, and at this point our Asashio has returned. Again, this guy played pretty good. Going out onto the flank, I like to see that. Helps out the team a lot with some spotting. And then he went into the cap. Unfortunately, that Jean Bart takes out our second Yamato. So we've lost 2 of our tier 10 battleships, and they have more or less done nothing. Our Lion just got a kill also, and then Ada Deering Torp, and is no longer with us. So just like that, we're still down a ship. As you can see, the Asashio's Torps again, harassing and impacting the enemy Jean Bart's, the 007's division over here. I think the first salvo went in on the closest Jean Bart, and the second salvo went on the one that I'm targeting now. So they both looks like they've both taken at least a Torp, and of course I'm going to do my part. I'm going to try to keep the fires going, especially considering that they've more than likely used their damage control party. We are surely going to try to get them on fire here, and or keep them on fire, keep the damage going. We're at 117 right now, which isn't too bad considering we're less than 10 minutes into the game. That's a pretty substantial damage roll at this point. and another big Alpha Strike, almost 7,000, and another fire. And like I said, I don't believe he can do anything about these fires. Switch to AP. I was hoping to get a little bit bigger hit than that, but fortunately he goes behind the island and continues to burn. So I'm going to put Torps out because we saw this Zao going in that direction. The trailing Jean Bart goes down, and the closest to the Asashio Jean Bart is still burning, and I'm trying to get him off my DD's butt. And as you can see, the Asashio does a great job and gets at least one, maybe two torpedo strikes on that Jean Bart. I'll bet you he probably had 4 or 5, maybe even more torpedo hits already. Maybe. So put up Hydro. I actually did use Hydro. Fire some AP at the broadside of this Zao. Unfortunately, I think I aimed a little bit too high. My aim was a little bit off on that. I noticed it when I was recording the replay. Of course, you never see these things when you're doing it, but just wondering why you're getting crummy damage. Managed to get a torp hit on the Zao. And we're going to switch over to HE and see if we can get him burning. It doesn't appear he is flooding, so more than likely he's used this damage control to stop the flooding. And he's going to give us a little bit of broadside, and I think we switch back and forth between HE and AP a couple times here. It seems like every time I load AP, the enemy ship turns out just like that. So it is what it is. He's taking fire from multiple ships. It's like our Moskva and our Montana are also both shooting at him. Of course, he's low health. Why wouldn't they be? Not to take anything away from that Moskva, because again, just like the Asashio, who has since gone down, he plays a pretty big role in this game. We managed to secure the Zao, and that is our second kill, and we're sitting on 174,000 damage, which for me and a cruiser is not too shabby. So the Yamato, the full health Yamato appears out of nowheres, and lucky I was bowing. That could have been a lot worse. So we're gonna put a spread of torpedoes over here. We're not detected, and he's more or less at our max range for torpedoes. But again, I just want to put them out there in case he slows down, stops, or turns in. We fire AP at his broadside, and we get, I think, 7,000 on that. That wasn't too bad. It was right on the belt line, which was pretty good. Unfortunately, we lose our Cleveland. He was over by the B cap, kind of by his own, or by the C cap by himself. Not surprising there, considering it's 2 versus 5 right now, and was 3 versus 5. So we managed to land a fire on the Yamato, and we get rewarded with a second fire. And of course, we are going to juke these shots with everything we've got. We get Witherer, and we've crossed the 200,000 damage threshold, which is generally a pretty good damn game, at least for me. I mean, if you ooh. And we get 2 more torp hits, and that gives us the high caliber achievement. And we are now at almost 240,000 damage. Our Moskva is duking it out with the enemy Moskva. And I'm going to try to finish off this Yamato. I'd like to get him back on fire. He's fairly low, and a couple salvos should chunk him. And then potentially, yeah, so we get 3,500 and another fire. If we can get a couple more salvos on him and another fire, and the Moskva can do some damage to him, we may be able to finish this guy off. Not the bad. That one landed right on his turrets. unfortunately, no extra fire. Moskva was shooting at the... That's interesting, and I didn't notice it during the game. He was actually shooting at the Yamato when he rammed the other Moskva. So, unfortunately, we lose our only teammate. It's 1 versus 3 right now. And I got double fires on this Yamato, and I am trying to finish him off. I'm trying to shoot over these islands with my spotter plane, and it looks like he goes down anyways. So it also looks like the Moskva, before he went down, he managed to finish off that Worcester. So it's myself against a Daring and a what I hope to be a low health Conqueror. Haven't seen him for a little bit. He was last seen against an island over by the sea cap. So we're going to push into A. My plan here is to... I know the Daring took the decap our spawn, so my guess is that he's heading into the B cap. It's the only cap that they don't have. So when I get up here, I'm going to put some torps out and hopefully get a lucky torp hit on an unsuspecting Daring. And you know, we're 100 points down, so I need to kill somebody and kind of stop the points bleed. I don't know that this is going to be doable. My Moskva is telling me that the Daring is in B, but it's quite obvious since he is flipping the cat. And we notice the Conqueror, unfortunately he goes dark, but then comes back as I spawn through this gap. Managed to get a salvo off, and it looks pretty decent. Yep, it sure is. We managed to get a big hit on him and finish him off. So it's kind of interesting. Both Moskvas in the game have 4 kills, as do I. So you don't see so many. You don't see that often where 1 or 2 ships really do a whole ton of damage. But on our team, myself and the Moskva both have 4 kills. So that's 2/3 of the kills just with 2 ships, which is pretty pathetic when you think about our Montana. Both of our Yamatos don't have any kills. Neither does our Tier 10 cruiser, the Des Moines, and neither does our Tier 10 DD, the Grosavoy, who kind of we lost early on. So I'm going to push into the B cap. I'm really hoping... I probably put my Hydro up a little bit premature. Probably should have waited until I had spotted the Daring. But I wasn't sure if he was just going to send out some prediction torps on where he thought I might come through. But at this point, I'm sitting on 276,000, almost 277,000. This is my highest damage in the Zhao, and I think technically it's probably my second highest damage gain of all ships, with only my Yu Yang also in a 4-kill loss. Unfortunately, and that kind of gives away the ending to this. There isn't much I can do. I do manage to spot him briefly as he fires and goes behind an island, but at this point we're just playing a little game of cat and mouse, and he's just snagging some decap rewards and ribbons. All he has to do is hide, and they win the game. So spot it again, have an idea of where he is. You know, technically one salvo could theoretically finish him off. The problem is I'm not really going to have a way of spotting him. My plane is down, still on cooldown for another 40 seconds. Actually 50 seconds, and the game only has 30 seconds, so I'm not going to be able to leverage that. He's definitely not within high-roll range. He's got line of sight blocked with his island, and he's just lobbing shells over at me and resetting me. And it is what it is. It's unfortunate. Time isn't actually going to run out. The clock is going to tick up because they've had 3 caps for so long. And it's pretty much the end of the game. But a valiant effort, I think, by myself in the Moskva, as well as the Asashio. He kicked butt. 276, just shy of 277. 4 kills, Wither, high caliber, 4 goal haul. Yeah, 4 goal haul. And base XP is 1882. Pretty crazy. That's pretty up there. I would have been 3rd on their team, right behind theirs. Of course, they get a bonus for winning, so I would have been easily top of either team if we had won, probably by a quite substantial amount. 88,000 in fires, 3 torp hits for 45k, and 190 shell hits. I take that back. 220 shell hits for 142,000 damage. Tanked about 1.9 or 1.1 in potential damage. So, yeah, pretty good game. Sadly, it was a loss. Earned some credits and a little bit of Captain XP. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.